I'm Joe Catalano with an AM Quincy news update for Wednesday, July 9th. 7 Chinese nationals living in Massachusetts have been accused of smuggling foreign nationals into the country to work in a multi-million-dollar drug ring hidden inside suburban homes across New England, including in Braintree. 6 of the accused, with the alleged ring leader living in Braintree, and others in Weymouth, Quincy, and Melrose, were arrested yesterday. The massive scheme involved cultivating and distributing marijuana across the Northeast that used interconnected grow houses concealed inside single-family homes in Massachusetts and Maine. Prosecutors allege the Chinese nationals were smuggled into the country to work in the grow houses without access to their passports until they repaid their smuggling debts. Profits from the marijuana sales, which totaled in the millions of dollars, were used to purchase luxury homes, automobiles, jewelry, and other items, including the purchase of real estate to expand the grow operation. 39-year-old Zhongchen Chen of Braintree is being called the ring leader. Also arrested 35-year-old Hang Bin Wu of Quincy and other suspects from Braintree, Melrose, and Greenfield. According to documents from about January of 2020, the defendants allegedly owned, operated, or partnered with a network of interconnected grow houses in Massachusetts and Maine to cultivate and distribute large quantities of marijuana. Specifically, grow houses were run in Braintree, Melrose, and Greenfield, as well as in Maine. The operators kept in touch through the, quote, East Coast Contact List, a list of marijuana cultivators and distributors in the region with ties to China. Chen controlled several grow houses in Maine, as well as a home in Braintree, which served as a headquarters for the drug enterprise. 3 teenagers are accused of firing 66 rounds of ammunition in a Salem neighborhood back in April. Were ordered held without bail yesterday, including 18-year-old John King Marshall of Quincy. All 3 have been charged with 4 counts of an armed assault to murder, assault with a dangerous weapon, and firearms violations. Prosecutors called the hail of gunfire on April 14th a targeted attack in a residential Salem neighborhood, hitting surrounding buildings, vehicles, and objects. A doorbell camera captured the moment shots rang out on Albion Street in Salem just before 7 a.m. on April 14th. Police responded to the incident and made 3 arrests. 4 days later, the judge ordered King Marshall held without bail on dangerousness. All 3 are due back in court on August 13th. Well, you can expect an increased state police presence on Quincy Shore Drive this week. Quincy Police Chief Mark Kennedy says troopers will be highly visible this week enforcing traffic and pedestrian regulations. Kennedy says Quincy was selected for increased enforcement last week as state police increased their presence at all state-run beaches. There were 2 incidents on Quincy Shore Drive Monday night. A 13-year-old boy on a bike was struck by a car near 160 Quincy Shore Drive. At about 6:30 Monday evening, he was taken to a Boston hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and the driver remained on scene. And then just after 9 Monday night, a car took down a pole at Quincy Shore Drive and East Squantum Street. State police are investigating both of those incidents. After a deadly crash, a state representative and Milton residents are calling for stricter safety regulations on Randolph Avenue. 3 people were killed last Saturday when 2 cars collided near the intersection of Randolph Avenue and Hillside Street. Milton residents say that stretch of roadway has been a problem for years. They refer to it as Suicide Alley. State Representative Richard Wells, a former Milton police chief, says the roadway has been a safety concern for decades. Milton residents for years have been calling for more stoplights and lower speed limits that are strictly enforced. State Department of Transportation has made several safety recommendations for the roadway, but it has not acted on them. Wells says that it's time for the state to act. Residents of the area said they're afraid to take a left turn out of their driveways, and Wells says he wouldn't even walk on the sidewalk. MassDOT has conducted a study of posted speed limits in the area, installed accessible pedestrian buttons, and installed reflector backplates on signal heads to improve visibility. It said it will install more speed feedback signs on Randolph Avenue within the next 2 weeks and is looking at installing center rumble strips. The Randolph Avenue Route 28 Chickatobit intersection improvement project plans to replace that intersection with a roundabout and is expected to advertise for bids this fall. Well, the state Senate gearing up for the next step in a growing debate over the benefits or harms that come with cell phones in public schools. Senators on the Education Committee yesterday advanced legislation that would largely prohibit cell phones in public schools from the first bell of the day to the last, with carve-outs for certain groups or activities that could soften the policy. If the measure finds support from the House and the Governor Healy would join roughly half of the states that have already cracked down on phones in Massachusetts. Many districts, including Quincy, have already acted to put new limits around devices, including cell phones. The bill advanced by the Education Committee Senate wing would extend those efforts statewide. Under the legislation, every public school would need to have a policy in place by the start of the next school year, with a bell-to-bell prohibition on student access to personal electronic devices during the school day. Districts could offer exceptions from a long list of options to grant some cell phone access to multilingual learners to accommodate students with disabilities in emergency cases during time traveling off campus to a school-related event like early college, when devices are necessary for student health and safety, or if a staff member gives permission. Restrictions could also differ by grade level. Some of the key details would be left up to local education leaders. A lawmaker wants to prevent U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents from wearing masks while on the job in Massachusetts. State Representative Jim Hawkins, a Democrat from Attleboro, introduced a bill on Beacon Hill that would prevent any law enforcement officer in the Commonwealth from wearing any mask or personal disguise while interacting with the public in the performance of their duty. They would also be required to have their name or badge number on their uniform. There would be an exception for medical masks and for SWAT teams. Any violation would be a misdemeanor. ICE agents have worn masks during immigration raids in Massachusetts and across the country in recent months, drawing criticism from protesters. An ICE spokesperson says the masks are optional, but that ICE law enforcement and their families are being targeted and are facing a huge increase in assaults due to the demonization of ICE by hostile groups and, quote, irresponsible elected officials. Now, the free concerts on Wollaston Beach in Quincy this summer kick off tonight. The concerts on the beach across from the Clam Box will be held on Wednesday evenings, called Wally Beach Wednesdays, presented by the Quincy Chamber of Commerce. Concerts are free and are held from 6 to 8 p.m. Tonight, at 6 o'clock, Classic Vibe, a reggae group, will be performing. Check of business news. Stocks are mixed. The Dow is down 165. The NASDAQ rose 5, and the S&P fell 4. Shares mixed in Asia. The dollar was up, the euro was down, and oil at $68 a barrel. Sports. Red Sox beat Colorado 10-2. They'll wrap up the series at Fenway at 7:10 tonight. National Weather Service forecast for today: some scattered showers and thunderstorms at a high of 82. So tonight, patchy fog, a low 70. More showers throughout the day tomorrow, high of 75. Friday, an isolated thunderstorm, high of 84. And still a chance of a storm on Saturday, high 85. For the boater, waves about a foot, northeast winds at 5 to 10 knots, high tide 11:24 a.m. Sunrise 5:16, sets at 8:21. I'm Joe Catalano with an AM Quincy news update for Wednesday, July 9th.